Breaking news this morning, legendary actor and director Robert Redford has died. His life and legacy in front of and behind the camera coming up.
He claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
And new evidence linking the prime suspect in the Charlie Kirk murder to the crime scene. Plus, his court appearance set for today.
Also this morning, on call, the Spokane City Council approving a 911 service dedicated to the city. When you can expect it to start up and what it could mean for your taxpayer dollars.
Washington's Secretary of State says the DOJ is requesting restricted voter info. We got the details coming up.
Plus, a first look at that weather forecast here. We're seeing a little bit of patchy fog for some folks, but other than that, the summer weather is set to return. What you need to know ahead.
And holy guacamole.
It's National Guacamole Day. The party hit getting its own party today. Get out the chips and dip. Wake Up NonStop Local starts right now.
Wake up, you gotta rise to the sun. And here it comes, it's time to make the best of what you got to give. It's all about rising, and I wanna be there.
This is breaking news.
And we are following breaking news right now. NBC News confirming that actor and Oscar-winning director Robert Redford has died.
As an actor, his biggest films included Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, and The Natural.
Redford founded the Sundance Institute back in 1981. That is the nonprofit that sponsors the Sundance Film Festival.
According to his publicist, he died in his sleep at his home near Provo, Utah. He was 89 years old. Here's a live look now at Salt Lake City this morning, where the man accused of killing political activist Charlie Kirk is set to make his first court appearance virtually from the Utah County Jail. And we can also tell you other things are going on, including the Utah County Attorney's Office will likely file additional charges against 22-year-old Tyler Robinson later this morning.
He's already facing several charges, including aggravated murder. Under Utah law, aggravated murder can be punishable by death. A press conference has been scheduled for this morning, 11 a.m., before the suspect's appearance 3 hours later. That hearing also expected to include discussion on who will represent the suspect in court and if he will get a court-appointed attorney.
FBI Director Kash Patel says DNA found on a towel wrapped around the murder weapon and a screwdriver discovered at the crime scene match the suspect's DNA, and that they are aware of a note written by Robinson.
The firearm itself, that is being processed by ATF laboratories in Maryland. The suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home.
Meanwhile, Patel is before the Senate Judiciary Committee right now, currently answering looming questions about his heading of the FBI since his confirmation back in February.
And Patel is likely to face scrutiny over his handling of the Kirk investigation, as well as the release of the Epstein files. That hearing, part of an annual oversight of the FBI. Patel is slated to appear before the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow. 6:33 this morning as we take a live look over Spokane. You can see those pink-hued skies as we're underway here on this weekday morning.
All right, we are in the Weather Center now with Jenny Power. We've mentioned 100 days till Christmas. We know fall is around the corner, but we still got a few days left of summer, and it looks like the forecast is going to reflect that.
Hey, yeah, guys, we are trending so above average when it comes to our afternoon daytime highs, but we've entered that time of year where it's colder in the mornings, low 50s as you head out the door, definitely, where you'll want the jacket. You might even turn the heat on in your car, but then by this afternoon, it's going to totally change here. So weather-wise, what's happening with the colder temperatures, we've also been seeing a little bit of patchy fog now, mostly through pockets of North Idaho as well as through the Cascades. As far as what we're seeing happening weather-wise, the above average temperatures this afternoon all going to be brought on by this high pressure. That's why it's going to feel so summer-like here for the day ahead. Widespread sunshine with temperatures in the low 80s. Now, the 80-degree temperatures here, they're going to stick around for the next few days. How long exactly we can expect these summer-like conditions in 10 minutes. Sam Clay.
Okay, Jenny, see you then. Continuing coverage right now, Spokane City Council has unanimously voted to launch an independent 911 service. That decision coming after the Spokane Regional Emergency Communications announced that its relationship with the city will come to an end later this year.
Establishing that independent service will mean some changes for the city of Spokane. Currently, it works with Spokane Regional Emergency Communications, or SREC, but SREC sent a termination notice to the City of Spokane Fire Department back in June, saying they couldn't agree on how to fix service issues.
Now, SREC previously told us the city launching its own public safety answering point could leave Spokane taxpayers to foot the bill for expensive dispatch hardware and technology.
Unfortunately, the timeline of being able to sit around and talk about it has come to an end.
Negotiations went on for years to bring Spokane police back into services, but there were disagreements over who was picking up what portion of the bill. SREC has given Spokane until January to get its own emergency communication services up and running. The chief of Spokane County Fire District 9 says if you live in the area they serve, you likely won't be paying out of pocket for an ambulance ride.
Here's a look at their service area. They're in the process of applying for their transport license. If approved, they'll be able to provide emergency transport starting in July of next year. Now, the fire chief says its private service provider, AMR, is increasing its transport fee 96%. Having their own ambulance service is something that they've been talking about for a while.
So if you're a District 9 resident and you get transported in a District 9 ambulance under our model, you will not receive a bill. We'll bill insurance, we'll bill private insurance, we'll bill Medicare and Medicaid, but on top of that, we'll do what they call a resident waiver fee.
They've ordered 3 new ambulances to be housed at existing stations, and they plan to hire new paramedics and EMTs to staff the vehicles.
Fire chief also telling us they are able to cover costs largely through reimbursements and insurance, and that this will ultimately provide better care overall for people living within the district. Washington's Secretary of State says the Department of Justice is requesting restricted information about voters in the state of Washington.
And Hobbs spoke with NonStop Local's Noah Bolter, who joins us live this morning outside the Spokane County Elections Office.
Well, Sam Kalai, you can go online and request a list of statewide voters. You can also go into your local county elections office and request current election information and information about your vote. But Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs says the Department of Justice is requesting information that is not available to the public. Specifically, Hobbs says the DOJ wants driver's license numbers, the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers, and birthdays of every voter in the state of Washington. What will that be used for? Well, I have a statement from the Department of Justice that says in part this information is being screened for ineligible voter entries. Hobbs, on the other hand, says the DOJ does not need restricted information to do so. Hobbs also says he's heard from outside sources that the DOJ will use this information to go after non-citizens. I asked the DOJ about this specifically, and they added no comment to the previous statement. Hobbs says his team is working through the legality of the request.
Right now, we are looking at the letter to see what we are allowed to do, and we obviously don't want to break the law, but there's state laws and there's federal laws. And I don't even think that I can even give up this information because the state legislature passed a bill saying that we have to keep that restricted.
Well, Hobbs says he has less than 2 weeks to respond to the letter from the DOJ, and right now he's working to gather as much information as he can before doing so. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
Now to breaking news we've been following all morning. Israel has started attacking Gaza City overnight. Large explosions seen from Gaza, from southern Israel, as the Israeli military moves in.
In a social media post, the defense minister for Israel said that Gaza was, quote, burning, adding that Israel will not relent. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had ordered the military to capture Gaza City, which he describes as a stronghold for the militant group Hamas that launched that October 2023 surprise attack on Israel. One of the men facing charges for targeting celebrity homes for break-ins and armed robberies in the Seattle area pleading not guilty. This is 29-year-old Patrick Maisonette in court, facing 10 felony charges, accused of breaking into several homes of high-profile athletes and rapper Macklemore.
In one robbery, a family was held at gunpoint. In another, former Seattle Mariner Ichiro Suzuki's wife was assaulted. Maisonette was arrested last month on a warrant related to a jewelry store robbery. He and his accused co-conspirator are expected back in court September 29th. It looks like construction workers will be back on the job. The International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 302, has ended its month-long strike.
This according to the Inland Northwest Association of General Contractors, or AGC, this specifically in eastern Washington and the North Idaho area. The director telling NonStop Local that union members will be returning to work immediately, and the agreement aligns with other trades settled this year as well. Despite multiple efforts from our team to learn what this dispute was over, AGC tells us it will not be sharing any details of that agreement.
Like Local 302 also says they don't have comment right now. The strike has impacted a number of construction and road projects in Spokane and Kootenai counties. Ryan Overton with the Washington State Department of Transportation says completion dates for some projects could be delayed, including the North Spokane Corridor, US 195, paving from Babbitt Road to State Route 27, and then US 395 paving from Hayford to Chewelah. Meantime, the Idaho Department of Transportation is working with contractors to see what can be completed before winter. Residents in Northeast Spokane are getting the chance to speak up and get informed about the Together Spokane initiative. The first of 4 town halls is set to take place tonight.
That town hall will be held at Rogers High School this evening, 6 to 7 p.m. Spokane Public Schools Superintendent Adam Swinyard, as well as Spokane Parks and Recreation Director Garrett Jones, both expected to share more about the collaborative initiative to improve our schools, parks, and neighborhoods.
Proposed projects in Northeast Spokane include modernizing Gary Middle School and Nevada Park, a new trades high school on Spokane Community College's campus, and a new park in Shiloh Hills. Okay, today people around the world are grabbing their chips and double dipping as they celebrate National Guacamole Day.
As long as you turn around the chip when you do the double dip. Guac has deep roots in Mexican cuisine. It's been around since the Aztec Empire and still going strong. Americans eat literally millions of pounds of avocado every year. By the way, Super Bowl Sunday, the biggest contributor of all, consuming on average 50 to 55 million avocados on that day alone.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now September 16th, it isn't just about the dip made from the green berry. Yes, avocado is technically classified as a berry, but it's also Mexican Independence Day.
On this day in 1810, the Mexican priests called for the rebellion against Spanish rule, igniting the Mexican War of Independence. That the battle was fought for more than a decade. Today is celebrated because it was the starting point for the fight for freedom. So maybe that's why I said people around the world are celebrating, because it's National Guacamole Day, but also it's Mexican Independence Day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hot tip though for making guac. What's yours?
Okay, so mine is actually when you've made your guac, and maybe if you've made too much and you have it to store, put the pits in it because that'll help it from turning brown.
I love that idea.
Okay. My tip is I get the Costco packet ones and I just peel one at a time and I just do it that way.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean
they have it freshly prepared and it's in a packet and you just open it up.
Actually, that is a hot tip because you know if you get a big case of it or a big container of it and you're not eating it all at once, it will turn brown.
It's true, unless you have the pits.
Yeah.
Still to come here on Wake Up NonStop Local, emu escape. A large flightless bird found more than 3 miles from home after getting out of his enclosure.
How he eventually was caught and how his owners think he may have gotten out. Coming up.
Plus, an extended look at your weather forecast as we are seeing big warm up on the way by this afternoon. A look at how long it's going to last ahead.